Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Rebecca Robeson, and this week is part 2 of a video series where I'm going to reveal to you the project that I introduced you to last week. This is a downtown high-rise condo project in San Diego, California. I thought I would start this walkthrough here in the kitchen. Why the kitchen? Well, honestly, it's very common in a condo unit to walk in the entryway and your kitchen is right there. That's the case here as well. Throughout this video, we're going to be showing you before photos so you can see what it looked like when we got here 6 months ago and what it looks like now. I also want to explain that this kitchen actually played a major role in the decisions I made with furniture placement and color and texture and finish throughout the entire condo. These cabinets here are a high gloss. It's a very rich mahogany, deep color, almost a burgundy, but it also has dark brown and then just slight shades of a soft henna gold in it as well, which actually looks great with the new wood floors that the client had put in before we even got to the project. The client did not like her existing countertops because they were in a dark granite. And you take the dark cabinets with the dark granite, and what do you have? A dark kitchen. What happens if you resurface your stonework? When I say that, we didn't pull out the old granite, we actually refaced it. And it looks like Calcutta gold. Beautiful, and again, that honey tone brings in the floor. Putting this countertop on both sides in white and bringing it up the backsplash all the way to the top not only creates flow, but it brightens this kitchen. And then by adding a nice piece of art here at the end of this galley kitchen, all of the colors are represented in what you see here. The most important point is that this color on the cabinet, since we kept it, I actually used that finish. I found a beautiful finish from Restoration Hardware, and that's what I used in the other parts of the house, creating flow and continuity from room to room. Follow my lead. I'm bringing all the heat. Some of the upgrades that we did in this kitchen, however, with this new countertop, is we flattened out and cleaned the lines and updated the lines of this overhang for the bar. The bar used to have the braces underneath that held it, and that alone dated it. By getting rid of that and keeping it so open and clean, it looks so much better. One of the very few places we had an ample wall space for art was in the entryway, because this condo is all about the view. So it is primarily windows. Very few places to use art and televisions. But in this location, I want you to see the connection between the color of the floors as represented here in this honey oak look. We've got the color of this entry door here in this rusty color. And then we brought in the greens and the neutrals, the organic look of a very impressionistic piece of art. It's just a color representation. It gives you that sense of this flow from room to room, how all of these colors connect and go well together and just make you want to go on into the next space, which is right here, the dining room and living room. Just watch me now. From that piece of art, we come into this one. Did you think that was a piece of art? I know. I'm here to tell you that we spent a lot of time going through hundreds of art options available on the Samsung television. This is not a sponsored video, by the way, but this is the one we found, which I thought tied the colors in so beautifully, which I love to do. Here's the first chance for me to use that burl finish of wood, and it's very representative of the kitchen cabinets. You see how that brings that through? But again, I'm trying to make it light, so I got it open underneath. However, I ended up buying 2 poof ottomans that could be pulled out and added to the sitting area to increase the amount of people that can be in this home at one time on a really comfortable entertainment basis. Or they can use them to pull them up and put your feet on when you're watching television. And then with these pieces under here and a little bit of accessorizing, it made a nice first impression when you come into this room. I used my SketchUp model to lay out my furniture. Now, this room has got some interesting architectural aspects to it. We've got a walkway here, and yet the light fixture, the 1J box in the ceiling that came with the building, is right here. So that's where your dining room fixture has to go. Your table has to be under. I couldn't push it over because the light wouldn't be centered underneath of it. So I've got a certain amount of walkway here, and we need a certain amount of walkway over here to get to one of the balconies. So I found this beautiful table. I love the base. It is a walnut wood. And again, we're kind of mixing these amber shades, rusts, greens in this in the look. These chairs are so beautiful. I love the dark legs, and you see how it plays well with the burl furniture. It also plays very well with the metal that goes around each one of the windows in this condo. When it came to this table, it only came in two sizes, 48 inches and 60 inches. 48 is the size of this, and it has a white glass top. So I ordered an extension, which gave me a little bit of a border all the way around, and it makes the table available to seat not only 4, but you could put 6 chairs here if you wanted to. I also thought that the glass here, when this fixture is off, which I love this fixture from Blackwell Lighting, when this is off, it's just clear, and it plays really well with this clear glass look here. So, furniture. Before there was, well, let's take a look at the before photos of what this living room looked like. That's right, the homeowner, before we got here, she took out the fireplace that was here on this wall, which I think was a very smart move, which is too many things in a small space, but it opened the floor plan for us to do more with the furniture placement. I was able to fit a sectional sofa here, and on this other wall, there's 2 walls, okay? This bumps into the room. So even though the windows are another 1.5 feet further back, this bump out means your furniture can't go all the way to the window, it has to come out. Small piece of drywall here that art could go on, a small piece of drywall there that art could go on. I chose to put a sconce here because I thought this is so architectural, it's artsy. It is art in and of itself, and yet it's functional because it provides illumination as well. I put special fills inside these velvet pillowcases just so that it would be super cushy and yummy for our client because she loves to cuddle down and watch TV. And then placed right here, 14 inches away from the sofa here and 14 inches away from the sofa there, is a square 48-inch coffee table in that same burl finish wood. And then this completes what would have been an L shape. It makes it a U shape, which is conversational. This chair can sit here. I selected it because I loved the side view and the back view. It actually has leather straps right here, and you can see that from the back, which is really pretty when you do have to see a chair from the back. This is a concrete ceiling. I would love to have an art light. I would love to have lights that light up the furniture pieces and where you're sitting. How do I do that? Well, there is a soffit here, and from this soffit, we could access right up here a J box where we could attach track lighting. She had track lighting. It came from there, it went across, and there were all these heads, right? Not ideal. Plus, why not take this opportunity to do something artsy? So I created and designed the shape, a triangular shape. Now the ceiling actually has what looks to be a piece of art, an architectural element on the ceiling that ties these spaces together, but from these rails drop lights. We light up the coffee table beautifully, this chair, the corner over here where the sofa is, this corner here, and most importantly, probably my favorite thing in this room and what I think, in my opinion, is what ties this entire space together. It is this painting. When I purchased this piece of art, I really thought that the colors, I was looking online, I thought the colors were going to tie in my pillows and my accessories and all the things I had selected for this room. And yet when it got here, It was very aqua, a blue-green gray background. And it was just like it was a train wreck in my eyes of color. So I actually had my faux finisher, Nicole, come, and she painted on top of this existing canvas and added all these colors, like from the pillows, and extra rich, deep reds and burgundies. And honestly, I think she took this painting to a whole new level. I think it's very easy to underestimate the power of your area rugs. In this room, I basically have a living room and a dining room. Was I gonna get 2 different rugs? Was I only gonna get one for the living room and not have one here? Do you realize how that would have cut up the space and made the living room part look small? There's something about this room that feels like it's all connected. It makes this small room feel like a large room. And what is that? It's the area rug. I went to Aja Rugs and I selected this rug, and then he had it custom made for me in my exact size, to the inch of what my SketchUp model told me I needed in order to put both the dining room and the living room on the same rug. And I gotta tell you, it has grounded the space and made it so luxurious feeling and so beautiful. I just love it. I hope when my client sees it tonight, she falls in love with it too, because it's unusual to have this large of a rug in a small space, right? But it makes it look big and luxurious. Let me take you on into this little alcove of space over here that we now call the home office. It's kind of an awkward shape. It's not a rectangular shape. It's almost like a wedge piece, but it created an awkward space inside. Not really big enough for a home office, not big enough for a bar, but maybe, kind of, could be, sort of. One of the things I thought would make a big difference is instead of having doors here, I mean, once you open the doors, there was hardly any room to move around in there. The doors took up so much space, but also it dropped down to 8 feet. So it was another height that we were dealing with. I said, let's just open that header up and move the walls back and just case around it to create more of a, this is part of this room. This isn't really a separate room, although it kind of is. But look at what a difference that made to open that up. And of course, the view from this room is also pretty spectacular. I just wanna feel like this. This is the multi-million-dollar view, don't you think? We've got windows here that look north. We have windows here that look west, but I added a floor-to-ceiling, wall-to-wall mirror that now makes this room look like this turns, and even though you're not really seeing the south, it makes you think you're seeing the south. Again, I have a very small space of wall here, and typically a lot of people would put a piece of art here, right? What I did here is I used a sconce, and I think this is awesome because it does act not only as a source of illumination and light, but it does give us that sense of a piece of art. Let me show you the floor plan, the aerial view of this room. It'll show you how the room is not rectangular shape. It's actually like a wedge. What that does is it makes it very difficult if you want to use an area rug in a space, because you'd have to take a rectangle and cut off a corner or angle it or get the rectangle so small in order to fit the space. But if you use something like I did here, you have the organic shape of that rug that you can play with and move around, so where it ebbs, you ebb, and where it jives, you can jive. I think the area rug in here grounds the space as opposed to having nothing at all. Who wouldn't want to work from an office like this? I mean, come on. You can lay here, you can have your cup of coffee, you can read, you can listen to an Audible book, which is what I like to do, and drift off into glorious sleep and slumber. There are 2 bedrooms in here and 2 bathrooms. I'm going to show you the 2 bedrooms. However, the 2 bathrooms we've decided to put as a phase 2 potentially. If the homeowner decides she wants to have those renovated, we've got plans for a shower instead of a tub. I think it's going to be beautiful. It'll just be done at a later time. Welcome to the guest room. Oh my gosh, this room was so fun to create. Now it's also got some challenges. There was in the beginning when we first started, this was the closet. It was 2 separate closet doors and it had a built-in desk kind of home office effect in it. The homeowner said, I don't need that anymore. She said, Rebecca, design it as if you were gonna be the guest. What would you want in a guest room? Welcome to the guest room of my dreams. Hello, is this amazing? Even right here, this drawer, I designed it to have a glass top where you could see through and your jewelry could be here. You could see it, you guys. Then there are glass shelves in here with places for handbags, cubbies on this side with baskets for your socks and your unmentionables, and whatever it is, your yoga clothes. Those could go on the sides, your handbags, more shoes, as well as on this side. And it doesn't take that much space to be able to put those things and have easy access to them. Is that amazing? I love that. You know what? I would love to have a coffee station and a wine fridge, just in case I wanted to have some wine in my guest room. Right now it just got water in it, but if I was staying here, I'd put wine in here. As long as I didn't spill, that would be fine. And look, a place for your luggage. Once you empty it and put it in all the cubbies, you just go right here and roll her on in. Fits like a glove, doesn't it? But what about your actual clothes? Well, we've taken care of that too. Booyah. Inside, you'll notice that everything is lit. Inside the closets are lit. Outside the closets, the shelves, the cubbies, everything is individually lit. And I have to give a special thanks to Classy Closets. They did an amazing job. Then having to put a television, this was the only wall for a TV. So we found a cool piece of art that went in with the style and the look and the colors. Now, typically when it comes to artwork or anything you put on the wall, I like to have vertical art in a vertical space. This is horizontal because televisions don't come vertical. I wish someone would work on that someday, although it would definitely change the things of what they look like in a movie or a show. However, this is a cool piece of art. Again, a framed television gives us that option that ties the look and the color scheme of the room into the room, makes it look like a piece of art. At some point, I think I had thought about putting a piece of furniture down here so this does take on more of a vertical space. But because I have all of this here and I want easy access to it, I opted not to and to leave it open.
Turn it up right now. Feel it going down. About to turn it up, turn it up, turn it up, turn it up.
The headboard itself is a channel tufting and it's a gray velvet. You'll see this piece of art here. Do you see how this brings in all of the colors, the different shades of green, the black, the white, the gray, the color of the walls, and even some of that brass tone, which I brought in to my sconces. So when you have a very small space, here's your queen bed, and there's literally like 12 inches to the left and the right, and you want to do nightstands, I've ended up using these little tiny C tables that gives you a place to put your phone when you're charging it at night, but not take up too much space. And above that, instead of lamps, we have sconces on the wall. Because remember, I could put things in the walls, they're drywall, not concrete, but not using those tiny nightstands for lamps really freed up that limited amount of space that I have. When my client said, design a space that you would want to stay in, I was thinking, okay, the bathrooms are too dark for me to do my makeup in. And there is no more space over here unless I don't have the refrigerator or I don't have the drawers or something. What do I want when I'm doing my makeup? I want natural light. Well, we got lots of that here. So I selected this acrylic and glass desk, And the reason I did is because the window is lower than the desk. I didn't want this to be a solid anything that would stop your view. This is kind of almost not here. It goes away, so to speak, because it's glass and you can see right through it. It wouldn't impede your view, and it wouldn't make you feel like the room was too full. It's actually not space saving because this is what it is, but it's visual space saving. Does that make sense? You don't feel like there's something there because it kind of almost isn't.
Turn it up right now.
Okay, this bedroom, oh my gosh, I would love to wake up here in the mornings.
Eyes wide open. Take it all in.
I just think it is so gorgeous and so ethereal and dreamy. You feel like you're sleeping in the clouds. In fact, yesterday there was a torrential rainstorm here in San Diego, and literally the building was in the clouds, and it was pretty amazing. Now here we have, again, a challenge. It's not a problem, it's a challenge, because when I walk into a bedroom, I typically put the bed right there. You want to see the bed from the foot of the bed looking straight up. You've got all this beautiful bedding. That's the view you want. Not in this condo. Here was the challenge: windows. And then this wall has an entry to the bathroom and an entry to the closet. So that leaves only one wall for the bed, this wall. How do you create a beautiful, luxurious bedroom when you're limited in your wall space from that side, not all the way across the sides of the room, because there's a door here?
For so long, just to
Does this finish look familiar to you? It is the same burl wood finish. This headboard is in a linen. And then I chose my bedding very carefully. I used my favorite sheets, beautiful comforters, another coverlet on top of that. I have a hairy, feathery pillow, a brown. Why did I do brown velvet here? Look how everything is very, very kind of steely gray because of the furniture. I feel like I want to connect my pieces together, and things like that will repeat that matter and make it look like it all blends and goes together. Not to mention, oh my gosh, these gorgeous sconces. Kirsten at Blackwell and we had a really good time specifying the light fixtures for this entire project. I fell in love with these, and so did my client. She was just like, those are spectacular. They're like large, right? Again, freeing up the space on top of your nightstands, yet adding an element of luxuriousness in a room. And then I found this piece of art up here. Now, finding a piece of art that goes with the colors that you've selected is challenging. And I loved this, but when I brought it in, it was almost the same width as the headboard. And to me, you should have a bigger base on the bottom and a smaller incline as you come in, as you go up, just like you have a larger piece of furniture underneath. You try to have a television that's a little bit smaller. Same with art. So I took this over to my friend Jeremy at Artware. If you ever need any framing done, he's the guy here in San Diego. And he cut this down for me in a couple of days. Actually, I think it was within 24 hours. The guy is amazing. But you see how this piece of art connects all these colors so beautifully together? I just think it's amazing. And then adding this luxurious throw of mink across the top of the bed just gave it a whole nother level of luxury. And that's one of the things my clients asked for. She said, when you get to the bedroom, go all out and make it glam. So we did.
For so long, just to find you. Just to find you.
Okay, what is this pop out? This pop out that comes out of the wall and then drops down in the ceiling in this room, kind of cutting the room up. Again, it's the stuff that you have to have in order for the building to work. So what do? You work around it. So I decided to make this a moment where I could create an architectural lighting fixture that would be glorious, glamorous, and incredibly luxurious. These are crystal balls. I think this fixture is amazing. I got this again at Blackwell Lighting, And on these cables, most of the time you attach these to the wall. We attached it to the ceiling and had a faceplate made so it could be attached to the floor, keeping it solid so people wouldn't walk by here and hit it. But this piece to me is like game changer. It is so beautiful. Over here, I've got two very, very comfortable chairs. It's the combination of colors that's in the bedding divided by this really cute table. Now this is a table that has a lamp attached. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's the only actual lamp in this entire condo. Everything else is either hung from the ceiling or it's hung from the wall, but this sits on the floor. There's even like a little drink spot too. So if the client wants to, she can just move this little plant and she can have a cup of coffee sitting on there, read in the morning, or watch television from this chair. She can watch TV, or she can talk to herself in bed. That's probably what I'd be doing. This wall bumps out. So if you're going to put a rectangular rug in here, do you start here, or do if you start back here, you have to cut it off there? That really defines the room and the space a lot. Or do I do it at the bed? But if I do it at the bed, this bumps out here, which means I'd have to end the rug right here. There was no great solution except the one that I use when I have challenging spaces and I need an area rug, but I don't want it to be a traditional rectangle or square shape. And that is, I used two cowskin rugs to stack on top of each other, and to get a more organic flow, it connects the two spaces and makes it look like it's all one room. I think that this room itself is quite a luxurious retreat, and I hope that when our client sees it, she just absolutely falls in love with it and can't wait to spend the night in the most beautiful, luxurious and comfortable bed she has slept in, perhaps in her entire life, certainly in a long time, right? I think she's gonna love this room. What do you guys think? I would love to know. Before I finish this video, again, there's a nice bathroom here. Someday we'll do a video on that if we get to come back and do it. But I wanna show you the motorized shades. That's one of the super luxury items in this home. All I have to do is hit this button and the shears come down. Gives me total privacy, and yet it's room filtering light. But I think the best part is when I hit this one, and not only do the shears come down, but so does the blackout.
Wow, this is amazing. My name is Meg and I live in San Diego. I've been an admirer of Rebecca's work for many, many years. And I knew that when I had this special condo, that I wanted it to be decorated in a very special way. And only Rebecca can decorate the way that I like. I love this. Oh my God. I love, when Rebecca first said that she was going to put mirror here, I thought, I don't know about that, but it's great. I love it. It looks like the room is like twice the size.
Joy is who you share it with.
I knew that I wanted her someday to do a project for me. And this project came along. I had a flood here and it was just a wreck. And I thought, this is the time to get Rebecca to redo this and make it the masterpiece that it should be.
Who you share it with.
Scott was great. This project just went so smoothly, and the communication with Rebecca was wonderful. When I needed to talk to her, she was available, and because Scott always made sure that there was no problem with Rebecca being out of state. As long as you have a good project manager, everything goes okay. I love this room. I cannot believe, this is just gorgeous. This is just gorgeous. I love it.
Did you think that that closet was going to turn out like
I
this?
did not in 1,000 years. I thought, I wonder what Rebecca's going to do with this.
Yeah.
Never, never. I pretty much left it up to Rebecca. I just told her, when I walk in, I want just the calmness wash over me. Give me that and I'll be happy. And she gave me that.
Who you share it with?
I told Rebecca that I think this is your best project yet. And you've done some really beautiful projects, but I think this one just knocks it out of the park.
Thank you so much for joining us. Scott was in the last video. This is my son, Scott. He was the project manager on this thing, and we hope that our client absolutely loves it. We hope you guys like it too. Together, I think we created something really beautiful. All right, be sure to leave us a comment and let us know what you think, or if you have any questions. And what? We need a thumbs up, right? We like the thumbs up. Subscribe, yeah, all that good
Turn the
stuff.
bell notification on.
Right, and be sure to join the design sessions if you want to learn how to be a designer for your own home in your own space for less than $10 a month. All right, we will see you guys next time. Thanks for joining us. Bye-bye.